to see a little bit of the old and a little bit of the new. We have two lines that are guys that have played together before, guys that have been here for a while, and we got a couple of lines that are full of new faces, especially the second line that we're going to see tonight. Joel Farabee, Derek Brassard, and Cam Atkinson. I really like the sound of those names together. I'm really excited to see what those guys can do. Ivan Provorov and Ryan Ellis, we've been talking about how they've been getting to know each other this preseason, have been going out to breakfast, have been doing the things that they need to do to become familiar with one another. Today at the morning skate, they're going to the extremes of practicing rimming the puck around the boards to each other.
Yeah.
Just so they know what the tendencies are for it to come through. And, just that level of attention to detail is really great to see on October 15th. And I'm excited to see those two in game action as well.
Yeah, that's one of the big elements that we're looking towards this year. Is that top pairing of Provorov and Ellis, because we're not oblivious to the fact of what Provorov and Niskanen did and how that veteran with a younger defenseman, how much it mattered and how much it helped.
Yeah.
Now it's, Ellis is a different player. He's every bit as good of a hockey player as Matt Niskanen, and in a lot of ways he's a better hockey player than Matt Niskanen. But the one thing that we don't know is we don't know about the chemistry that Niskanen and Provorov had, if Ellis and Provorov will have that. So that's part of the equation as well. So still, a lot of different elements here that we're going to get into.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I've mentioned quite a bit lately that needs to get off to a good start is Travis. I think he's got a circle around him for me tonight. I need to see something from Travis Konecny.
So it came out this week in Elliot Friedman's Comes In podcast that last year when Travis Konecny had his his down year and he just didn't click. It didn't deal well with COVID. Didn't deal well with the overall circumstances. That in his exit meetings, they basically told him, look, we could have traded you. We had lots of options. We had lots of interest in you, but we did not trade you because we believe the player that was an all-star last year and the player that had that breakout season. Remember when the coaching change happened in 2018, from the week after that onward, Travis Konecny was a completely different player than he was the first half of that season. So his surge,
Scott Gordon.
Yeah, his surge had been going since that point, and the Flyers believe that that's still there. And from what Elliott said, Konecny took that to heart, and he came in this year ready to go. He put in the work in the offseason, and he hits this season ready to run and ready to prove the Flyers right, basically. And this is the first night that we get a chance to get a look at that. And, hopefully, what Elliott said rings true, and we see that same kind of player that we saw, a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah, where he was an all-star.
Yeah.
24 goals in back-to-back seasons.
Right before everything ground to a halt.
Yeah.
5 weeks. He was an all-star, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I believe it was in, I want to say Columbus was that all-star?
St. Louis.
St. Louis?
Same thing.
Yep. Basically. Except for St. Louis won the Cup the year prior.
True.
Columbus.
I mean, it's a city.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But no, I mean, the thing that's interesting is he 24 goals in back-to-back seasons. The second one, 69 games, which had him on that 30-goal pace. So he's a guy that gets the spotlight as a guy to look at early in the season. Now, another guy that's going to get that same spotlight is probably the guy who had the best year last year amidst what was a gong show of a season. We're not going to sugarcoat it. Last year was very difficult, and that's Joel Farabee, because he gets the 20th goal in his 55th game, the final game of the season for him, which had him on a 30-goal pace. Two young players that can be 30-goal scorers. The Flyers are going to do something. It starts with keeping the puck out of your net, and we'll talk about Carter Hart in a moment and the defense, but it also goes to scoring goals, and if you have a Farabee and a Konecny that are 30-goal scorers or on that pace, then you got in a real good situation from an offensive standpoint.
Well, Joel Farabee kind of in some uncharted waters here, wouldn't you think? Because he has, over the years, he's taken large leaps in his development. He's first come through the U.S. national team development program, took a large leap there, got to Boston University, took a large leap there, and after 1 year in college was able to take the large leap to the NHL. Last year, he took another large leap at the NHL level. You got to hope that there's maybe 1, 2, 3 more large leaps in there, and the Flyers think there are, because they proactively signed him to a contract extension well ahead of the expiration of his first one. I mean, this is a guy that he would be restricted. The Flyers would have control over where he went if he went through this year, and they just said, we'll sign you next year. But they saw enough potential in him. They said, let's get it done now. So Farabee finishes his entry-level deal this year, and then next year jumps right into, I believe, is a six-year, $30 million deal at $5 million a year on the average annual value against the cap. So that is a bargain for the Flyers and what they think that Travis Konechny is going to, that Joel Farabee is going to become. And can he complement Travis Konechny, maybe get his game going? Maybe rubs off on him a little bit. I don't know. But, again, really excited to see whether that next leap comes this year for Joel Farabee.
Yeah, and, you don't sign that deal. Chuck Fletcher doesn't offer that deal and sign that deal without knowing the player. And the reason why you do it is the young man. You know that he's not going to sign the deal and go south. He's a kid that works really hard, is an incredible competitor, and is going to be a guy that's going to compete his way through this deal. So those things are part of it. Let's take a quick time out. We're going to join the network right after this Flyers pregame show on 93.3 WMMR. It's okay if that goes through. Yes, it is Philadelphia Flyers hockey, 93 WMMR pregame show. It is Flyers versus the Canucks, game one of an 82-game season, and we're getting a little bit of a recoil there, Brian. Maybe we can just kill our recoil somehow. But nonetheless, one of 82. No 50-game season this year, Bri.
Nope.
Thank God. And this is just the first step on what should be on paper a much more successful season, and one that by proxy will be a whole heck of a lot more fun than last year was.
It's not against anybody in particular that's not here anymore, but the fact that when you sit down this summer and you look at this roster and you write these names down and whatever you're writing them down in, you do your season prep and you see names that get you excited, that says something. And, yes, Keith Yandel is a veteran. Derek Brassard is a veteran. These are guys whose best years are behind them, but they're coming into roles here in Philadelphia where they can still thrive. They're no longer expected to be the number one players on their team. Keith Yandel is going to play this year on the third pairing, most likely. Derek Brassard right now is a second-line center, but if the team's healthy, he's not going to have to play that high. He can go down there and take some other minutes. So having these guys in this lineup, I think, really gets you excited, and it's not just on the ice, but off the ice as well. Gianna Hahn at the Philadelphia Inquirer had a great article this week on the friendship between three of the new guys and Kevin Hayes, and it's just rubbing off on everybody in the locker room. So really a lot to be excited about here, not just on the ice, also off the ice. This team is, as Ryan Ellis said yesterday in his media availability, it feels like they're poised to do something special. So this is night one of that, 182, and just really excited to get it rolling here in front of the biggest crowd the Flyers played against in almost 2 years.
Yeah, since March 10th of 2020 against the Boston Bruins, a game which ended a 9-game win streak for the Flyers before the NHL was paused. And we're back now. The East football here is starting to out as people mill their way to their seats. We're going to get the double. Yep. We get the Canadian anthem with a team north of the border in town in Vancouver, and the American national anthem as well. I would sanction for a double anthem for every game all the time.
It works. It's Canada's game, right? I would take it as well. We should mention, too, for those of you who are here in the East Food Hall or maybe on your way in, we're going to be up here now with people in front of us. We usually aren't. In the past, We've been downstairs, just outside the locker room. But this year, we're going to spend the pre-games, post-games, intermissions up here in the East Food Hall. So we'd love to have you come join us. You can come get some dinner on your way in, get a drink on the way out, catch our show live. We're going to work on getting people involved in the shows that are here in the East Food Hall. And if you're not, you'll be able to listen to us on your ride home here on the Flyers Broadcast Network. So new stuff for us as well in the radio world, new stuff on the ice, and just a sense of revitalization as we come out of 2 hockey seasons that did not really go the way they're supposed to. Hopefully, we're going to get back to as close to normal as we can before we're back to completely normal here with this year at the Wells Fargo Center.
Now, I did my civic duty this morning. I woke up real early. It's game day. This is like my Christmas day, right?
Yeah.
Because I love the flow of the full 82 games. I love the perspectives of what's in front of us. A full season of 82 Flyer games, 82 for all the other teams up in the league, and then the 2+ months that becomes the Stanley Cup playoffs. Knowing now, as we sit here on the 15th of October, that I have hockey until basically July, is a great feeling.
And really, it's going to be every night. There's not this break that we've just had since the last preseason game. I probably believe is the longest break of the year, other than the Olympic break, because due to that break, the rest of the schedule is slightly compressed. Flyers are going to play 15 games a month, except for February. They're going to play the equivalent of that over the rest of this month. And to be honest with you, for as much as we hate staying up till 1 a.m. sometimes on the West Coast, last year you missed those West Coast games. You missed burning the midnight oil a little bit, and the Flyers are going to get on the road to the West Coast right away here in their first road trip here in 2 weeks. So that's all coming
to Edmonton and Vancouver. And it'll be Flyers after dark. Streaming. Yeah, and look, we'll be doing this game from our household. You never know what can happen. You never know what might stumble in my studio. And we're looking forward to that. We didn't get to see Connor McDavid last year.
No.
We didn't get to tonight. We didn't get to see Quinn Hughes or Elias Pettersson or Thatcher Demko. We're going to see the Seattle Kraken here on Monday. They didn't exist 2 weeks ago as a real team that has played games.
Right.
They've gotten their first win. We're going to see Boston this week. Are always the contender as long as Bergeron, Marchand, and Pasternak are there. And we're going to see Florida, who it seems like maybe the sexy pick to win the Stanley Cup out of that Atlantic Division, and Barkov. And so it's so much fun. It's so exciting what's in front of us and what's in front of us tonight. And I can't wait to wrap up this pregame show and walk out into that bowl. Because we were here last year when there was no fans, and we were here last year when there was limited fans.
Right.
And by that point, it was a tough situation for the Flyers already. The season was not going well, and it just wasn't a packed house, and it wasn't a joyous place to be on a lot of nights. Through a lot of personnel changes on and off the ice, a new optimism, a new core, a lot of new leadership, and some exciting and very good hockey players. When we walk out into that bowl tonight, it's going to feel a whole heck of a lot different.
It's hard.
I can't wait.
Hard for people to relate because obviously they weren't here. You and I were here last year, and not even last year. It's January basically, but when we started last season on opening night, there was no. It was the strangest that I've ever seen in 20 years of doing this.
Yeah,
it was just bizarre. You sat there and it's like, is this a real game? Like it just didn't feel real. And now that we know what that is. To anticipate this open that's going to come out tonight, everybody coming out on the ice by name. It's just so great to see that again and to have them here to react to it. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, one of the things I just watched sports to watch the game. Fans didn't mean that much,
right,
until they were gone. But now they're back. Also back is Tim Saunders. And they've got the countdown to face-off. Game number 1 of 82. It's the Flyers and the Canucks. Stay tuned. Tim Saunders, Steve Coates. They've got the remainder of the pregame show and all the first period action here live from the Wells Fargo Center right after this. You've been listening to the Philadelphia Flyers pregame show live the East Food Hall at the Wells Fargo with Brian Smith and Jason Myrtetus right here on the BetRivers.com Flyers Podcast Network. Enjoy the game, everybody.